Hello, 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 and welcome to another episode of the Lines In Podcast. This is episode 82, Catastrophic Start. We've had a couple of days to kind of mellow out our thoughts and feelings and emotions regarding Leon's week one matchup. So we'll definitely go into it more with a level-headed, we hope. But yeah, so we'll go ahead and talk about everything that happened in that matchup. We'll talk about a rundown of what happened in just week one overall. And also preview of next matchup, home matchup versus Xolos. So let us know if you're watching us via Facebook, YouTube, Periscope. Don't forget to subscribe. Follow us on there. If you have any comments, any thoughts, anything you want to join the conversation, please comment on the comments and we'll post your thoughts and everything on screen. So we'll definitely share them and get going. So gentlemen, Carlos, Javier, Louis, just one word. How are we feeling tonight?
Shell-shocked. That's a hyphenated word.
Shell-shocked. Okay. Anyone else want to go?
One word?
One word, Carlos. You have like a emoji or something on your face right now.
That is an emoji.
I'm gonna channel my inner.
That's good.
My inner Stephen.
That's good, actually. Yeah, inner Steve. There you go. That's actually a good.
Disastrous. Just disastrous.
Nah, you took my word. I was gonna say like, well, yeah, just horrible, just horrendous. Olvidar. Just I'm just gonna forget it. Never happened.
Definitely. So guys, Carlos, are you ready for a pre-game so we can just go ahead and dig in and then get the conversation going?
Yes, let's do it.
Let's do it.
Pre-game news. 2 points. The least important one was Fidel Ambris being available for the match despite being sent off in Campeón de Campeones. Word was that he was going to be out because of the red he received, but I guess there was a little bit of the skewing of the rules, which allowed him to start in the match. Didn't think he was that great. I thought he participated in 2 of Pachuca's goals after reviewing some of the footage. But yeah, he got to play nonetheless. Second biggest news last week was receiving a 2-year extension with the club, which is good, I guess. We own his card for the next 2 years. I don't know if he'll actually complete the 2 years. I think Louis and I speculated on how long he'll be here, but at least we have his card for the next 2 years. What do we think about Uncle Mina and his extension, guys?
Well, I think it's actually so that way he doesn't walk away free. That's the only positive thing I could see from it. You could still sell him. I mean, si va a aportar algo más, I don't know. He's at an age where I think you could still kind of get the best from him for like another year. But then after that, like in long terms, like I do see him being sold and try to get some money off of that transaction. But otherwise, I mean, last season I didn't really see anything from him. So.
Yeah, I think it's a low risk, high reward kind of thing. I can't imagine this was a particularly expensive extension at this point in his career. He's going to turn 33 this year? Did he already turn 33?
I think
I'm
he's
not
already
entirely
33,
sure.
right? I
can't imagine, they took a little while to iron out the numbers and we'll never know exactly what those numbers were for exactly, but I can't imagine it was an incredibly wealthy extension at this point, and it's a low risk, high reward. He could have a resurgence. He could maybe give us one more good year. I don't expect he'll have 2 more good years, but maybe he can give us one. At which point we can either sell him elsewhere in LigaMX for either more than we extended him for, and it turns into a ganancia, or we can sell him back to Emelec and he can retire there, which is what I'm sure he will end up doing.
Yeah.
So it's a pretty low risk, high reward situation. Again, yeah, like Javier says, I mean, the best part out of this is we have control over his future for the next 2 years, which I think will be his career. I can't see him playing much more after 2 years from now, at least not effectively.
Yeah, and he's 33. He turned 33 in January.
Okay.
So he's almost 34.
Yeah, good signing, I think. Yeah, I mean, I hope he lives up to the extension. I mean, he's been our best player for the past couple of years. Even though he's trending downward, he's still been our best player.
He's been
Yeah,
our
I hope
goleador.
my only thing with him is I hope this, well, in general, but also because of this, maybe they don't feel obliged to play him if Elias Hernandez is better. You know, if Elias comes out and plays better, I hope he gets the minutes. I hope they don't.
Yep.
Sometimes I feel like the Directiva forces guys into the lineup, and Mena has sometimes been one of those guys. And I hope that's, if he's not performing and Elias shows more with less, then I hope that Elias gets those minutes. That's the only thing I'll say about it.
Yeah. Anyway, so let's move on to the starting 11, shall we?
Yep.
No major surprises in the starting 11. I think it was what we expected. Very similar to Campeón de Campeones, except for one player, and that's Omar Fernandez. So we had Vázquez Mellado in goal, and then we had Avión Ramirez, Barreiro, Tecillo, and Jefecito. That was our defensive line. Fidel Ambris, Luis Montes, Omar Fernandez, Angel Mena, John Meneses, and the slow and very, very bad Puma Gigliotti. Yeah, no surprises, right?
I mean, Carlos, did you see that Montes and Fernandez were at the same time on the field? That's the first thing that popped up in my head because we just talked about it. Especially Louis brought it up. Why can't we use both?
And I think they se estorbaron because I feel like Montes is the one who wants to run the show, but then Omar Fernandez is standing around like, I do that too. I don't know what to do without the ball. Because I mean, you can tell when Omar Fernandez has the ball, he passes, he cuts, and he makes all these like nice moves when he's orchestrating. But when he doesn't have the ball at his feet, he's kind of just standing around and waiting to see what happens. So I don't know. I feel like que se estorban. Do you guys agree, or do you guys see something different?
Hard to judge from this game. I mean, we couldn't get anything going from the midfield up just because the players behind them were so constantly tested and constantly put pressure on. It was hard. It would have been hard to judge from this one match what they can possibly do together. I think it's going to be a process. Again, they're not used to playing together. Not even from the 70th minute on, much less starting together. I think they will get used to each other and eventually feed off each other, but it's going to take a little time for them to get used to doing that.
Yeah, I was going to say I agree 100% with that because I think it's very clear to all of us that Olan hasn't found his starting 11, his perfect starting 11. I think he's still trying to find, and of course, I don't know if when Navarro gets healthy again, if that's going to be that's the thing that I kind of just said in my head, but it's kind of just to be like, well, we didn't have Cota or Navarro. You know what I mean? Like, how much would they add if they come back? I don't know. I do not know, but I do know that Holland, I don't think he's found his perfect 11 yet. So I think we need to see more games to see that. If what Carlos sees, Olan starts to see, then that's what I'm saying. Like, there's gonna have to be changes and all of that because you can't have that happening. Two players trying to be a number 10. It's like, I think that's pretty much like what I saw from this game and the Cruz Azul game. That he's still it's still his pretemporada. That's why we've been talking about this every season. This happens. Panic button? No, there's no panic button. Like, if this was like Serie A or the Premiership or La Liga, then panic button because but this is La Liga Mexicana where 12 out of 18 teams qualified. So I think it's a long pretemporada, and when some players start coming back, the healthy competition between Mena and Elias, I think by la jornada 10 we're gonna start seeing a little difference in the way of playing. I think what we all saw was un equipo que no le pegaba de afuera. They had possession, but they weren't doing what I think Pachuca was doing, you know, which was playing, I don't know, more dynamic, more, I don't know, like what Luis said. I feel like what Olan is trying to present for the team, they're still trying to figure him out. You know what I mean? So I feel that's why there's that confusion. Other than that, yeah, I just feel we need more games to see more. But yeah, I think Carlos, you're onto something with that. With Momare and Chapo.
Yeah, I mean, we came up against a Pachuca squad that knows what they're trying to do, and with a lot of continuity, both in terms of roster and cuerpo técnico. I don't think on paper they have nearly as good a roster as León does, but they've been with Petzolano. I mean, Petzolano went from week by week, like literally playing for his job, to getting all the way to a semifinal and, you know, totally turning things around and having that continuity and that confidence and the team's confidence in him. I'll be the first to say I underestimated this Pachuca team. But looking back on it, there's a lot of reason to think. I mean, we ran into way more of a buzzsaw than any of us probably anticipated. And, you know, they were ready for us and we were not ready for them. So we got to be patient. Nobody likes to see things go down that way. Losing is one thing. Losing in that way is a whole nother thing. But when you really look back and analyze them, you can kind of see the reasons for it, both on our end and theirs. So, but again, you know, there's no Cima and there's no Sotano after one match day. That's not how LigaMX works. So we just have to try to not freak out about this, and I don't want to see any more fuera Holland. Like, that's just absolutely ridiculous. That's absolutely ridiculous after one match day. He was not brought in to win the Campeones. He was not brought in to win the first jornada. He was brought in for something way greater than that.
Largo plazo.
It's a process. Yeah, you have to think about the largo plazo. You have to zoom out and think about the big picture. That is the big takeaway from this match day one. But he
only signed for a year.
But I think, look, here's the thing with Grupo Pachuca and with all these, like, I don't know where these fans come from, because it's like, are you a fan from like 2 years ago, or since Grupo Pachuca actually been in charge of León? They actually are a grupo that encourage largo plazos. I think about Nacho Ambriz when he came in his first season, horrible season. Even if they were in last place, I don't think, even if Olan is in last place, I don't think they're gonna fire him. I think, like I said, it's 12 out of 18 teams qualified. So I think what I mean is by all of this is that, yes, we don't like losing 4-0, but to say fuera Olan, it's unrealistic in the terms of Grupo Pachuca's eyes. You know what I mean? Like, Grupo Pachuca that's not how they roll. So I don't think that's gonna happen.
Yeah.
If it does, then that's, you know, that's cool too. But
yeah, they may have only signed him for a year, but a year is an eternity. Look how many tournaments we're going to play in that time and how much is on the table in that time. My point is, the ceiling is much higher with Holland, despite this result, than suppose they had brought in Pablo Guede. You know, he was the other option. And with him, you know what you're getting. He's a guy who knows the LigaMX, but his ceiling is much lower. I mean, you pretty much know what your maximum aspirations are with a guy like that. Whereas Holland, yeah, he might start slower, but I think if we zoom out and look at the big picture, the end result could be a lot more favorable with him. That's my way of thinking with it right now. He's a big time. He's the biggest signing for a coach that León has made in a very long time. That's for sure. And one of the biggest names in terms of new faces to come to LigaMX in a while. And I think we have to, I hate to use this cliche they use in the NBA all the time, and it almost never works, but trust the process. You know? You have to kind of trust the process.
Trust the process, Louis. Trust the process.
Trust the process.
I'm gonna play devil's advocate here.
Is it a hot take?
I believe
it's not a hot take. It's not a hot take. But I just think I just stop and think, like, how did we fall off so quickly? Like, we were playing so well just last season, and these past 2 games we looked nothing like that. So I'm thinking, like, maybe this new coach maybe this new coach should have adapted to Leon instead of Leon adapting to the new coach, right? Maybe he should have came here and said, let me see what I have, instead of the players saying, well, let's see how we're going to play now.
It has to be a little bit of both, doesn't it? It has to be a compromise. They have to meet in the middle.
Yeah.
And
also,
But it
so
doesn't
far they
seem
haven't
that
done.
way, though.
So far they have not done that, but that doesn't mean we don't have enough of a sample size to say
it's
that
only-
that's not possible.
It's only been 2 games. It's like if it's Tijuana, they went 3-0. That's how Liga Mexicana and how it works around the world. You know, like it's irregular. The resultados a veces. One team can be playing extremely well, like a Real Madrid, and then they lose to freaking Eibar. You know what I mean? Like I think that happens to any coach that comes and leaves. You know, it's and especially with this kind of coach that has his own style with drones and everything. I'm pretty sure these players are like, what the F is going on? But it's a process of adaptation, you know, and it's like Louis keeps saying the word, es un proceso de largo plazo. I think that's, even though he signed for a year, I just think that's how Grupo Pachuca is looking at it. Like if they brought someone like that, you know, usually what they would do is always, and we were even talking about it. Oh, they're gonna bring in Guede, or I was thinking Romano, because that's kind of what they go for, like cheap coaches. You know what I mean? Like they don't.
Hey,
I don't
I
think
wanted Pablo Guede. He's not a cheap coach. I think.
Yeah, I thought Pablo Guede was going to come in.
Yeah, I mean.
I said Romano.
Oh.
I said Romano.
My bad.
No, I said the rumors of Guede. But yeah, but they weren't going to go for a high profile, like you know what I mean? Even if I wouldn't want like a high profile would be like Piojo, and I would never want Piojo and Leon, even though he's worth millions. I would want to. Yeah, you're right, like Pablo Guede, or because he does have this style that us Leon fans we kind of like since the Matosas era, so it would fit in for Leon. I agree, but I just think Grupo Pachuca just went in a place where they were kind of looking outside of Mexico, and if they ended up with Olan, I think it's for a reason. Who knows what's going to happen with this process? But I just think it's 2 games, and
that's
but
the
you're
thing.
right. It is troubling. It is troubling.
Guede would have been a perfectly solid choice. Solid.
Yeah.
But is solid the adjective we're willing to settle for? They took a chance on a bigger name. They took a gamble on a bigger name who's going to have a longer adaptation process because he's never coached in LigaMX before, never coached any of these players before. They took a gamble, and if the gamble pays off, the aspirations of the team are far higher than they would have been with Guede. That is my opinion. And it hasn't been enough of a sample size. We have not nearly large enough of a sample size to say whether the gamble will or will not pay off. So we have to be a little bit patient.
And the one thing that I do want to agree with Carlos is that it's un plantel with a lot of talent. You know what I mean? Like I feel like any kind of coach could come into Leon and kind of do something. But if you really are doing the opposite of what we know this team can do, that is troubling. And I think Kari said it about our defense. Yeah, what's up with that? It's very troubling. Like I don't know if they're not communicating. Could it be Cota, which is a portero usually does do a lot of ordenando in the back lines. Could it be that? Could it be a lot of confusion? Could it be a lot of who knows what it is? You know, that's what I'm saying. Like in the back of my head, I'm more like, well, when Cota and Navarro come back, you know. But that's just to justify, you know what I mean? Like that's what we lost, you know. But but here's the thing. But here's the thing, though. Pachuca's a good team, a really good team. There's one player that I think we don't give him enough credit, and that's Pocho Guzman. I think he had a really amazing game. And I think when one of the questions is where did it all go wrong? Sometime during halftime where Pocho Guzman realized what he could do. And you know, golazo de fuera del área. That's how Leon should be thinking of playing, you know, like you know what I mean? Like ese hambre. So I feel like he does have hambre after todo lo que le pasó. He's hungry. He's hungry to kind of show what he's made of. And I think that's just Leon's situation right now, that they face a really good Pachuca team, a interesting Cruz Azul team. And I think Tijuana and, you know, the Querétaro game are going to be interesting games because then that's when we really get to be like, okay, now what's up with that now? You know what I mean? Like, but yeah, I do think it's a process. It's a process more than anything.
Yeah, definitely.
It's gonna suck too, but it's a process.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like we have a lot of the same, you know, core base that Nacho Ambriz had. Obviously, we're still waiting for players to come back, so I don't think we're gonna see anything like consistent until after like 7 or 8 jornadas, honestly.
Speaking of which, that was one bit of news, Carlos, that we didn't mention, that Argentina Olímpico was eliminated yesterday. So we should have Colombato back. I would not imagine by this Saturday, but hopefully by next, maybe he can be considered for next Thursday against Querétaro. Maybe.
Well, that would be awesome. So there's still a lot of players that, he needs to come back. Navarrito needs to come back. Cota needs to come back. Osby needs to come back. So I don't know. There's a lot of talent. There's a lot of players, a lot of options. I don't know what Olan's thinking. It is going to be a process. It was just really frustrating because obviously I think at the end of the day, Campeones de Campeones, it's like a 50-50 chance, period. But now the first jornada, I started napping second half. I was just so depressed. I was just like, this is really draining.
I changed the channel. I always do that when I knew there's no way. Like, come on. There was no way at all. Like,
no.
It felt like the LAFC game, like when they were already, and then it's like they're finally trying. I was like, if they could score, I don't know how many goals. Leon's not gonna. This team did feel, and this is what I'm saying. Like, I understand what a lot of people are. The energy that I got from the team was, se dieron por vencidos very quick. You know what I mean? Like that's just what I saw. Like, it was like in the first half, it seemed like it can go either way. You know what I mean? Like it kind of felt like that. Like maybe Pachuca could be more dangerous, but Leon can just get that one, goal and that one chance. But then the second half, it was just clear that Leon they don't know what they're doing, or maybe Olan doesn't know exactly what he wants his team to do. But that was just it. Like Pachuca was just a really good team. El último golazo, una jugada. That's what I'm saying.
Mm-hmm.
Like they're playing like a team, and we are not.
Yeah, this Pachuca was in the semis last season, so it's not like we're playing Pachuca from a few years ago where they were, pretty bad. They're actually a really good team. I think
they did get better. They signed Nico Ibanez. They improved their roster a little bit.
They're a contender.
It took our Yairo.
They took Yairo, who surprisingly started. I thought he was going to miss at least a few jornadas, but he started the game, which was very surprising to me.
They gave him a number 10, so that's interesting. The role they're going to give him.
I was not talk about that, okay?
But
hear about that.
But yeah, it's a strange thing about the mentality. I agree with you. They kind of gave up, Javier. They gave up. I would say after the second goal, I would say they were like, we're not getting anything out of this match. As opposed to a week prior in the Campeón de Campeones, where they fought till the very end. Give them credit. It looked like a completely different team from the second half of the Campeón de Campeones. Yes, trailing by 2, but Ormeño scores, and they had all the momentum. If that game had gone on another 5 minutes, who knows what might have happened.
But
so that's the kind of mentality we need to see more than the one that we saw in Pachuca.
Yeah,
so
definitely.
I'm not saying we can't say this team isn't capable of fighting to the finish, because they did in Los Angeles, in Carson, I should say. But you're right; they looked crestfallen and defeated, and resigned to the notion that they were not going to get anything out of that match when there was still quite a ways to go after only giving up a couple of goals. But I don't know; it is discouraging to say the least.
Talking about Ormeño, shout out to Diego Sane, who is keeping up on via Periscope. Ormeños, una goleada de Rumano, and he also said, ya te olvidó partido con Pachuca. And shout out to Raúl Guerrero, partido del olvido. Raúl Guerrero said, it's the first game, it's all good. Let's put it this way. Even Nico Sosa missed a clear goal. Ha ha ha. So don't worry about the first game versus Xolos. Will be a tie or a win.
Yeah, a tie at home against Xolos will not be a reassuring result for one thing.
We gotta win.
And for another thing, nobody expects Nico Sosa to score ever. But I don't think that goal was as easy as people were saying it was. It was a strange angle. I'll give my man a pass on that one.
They just like getting up on him because it's funny now. Yeah.
Well, since he's not on our team anymore, he can be the butt of our jokes.
Yeah. It's just that when he was with us, I'm like, dang, even what's his name, Ramiro, when he was in San Luis, scored before Nico. It was just crazy. Like, everybody has scored in La Liga Mexicana except Nico. But yeah, just thinking about this, what they were saying, yeah, it's un partido para el olvido. Really, it's not really. We can analyze some things, but the really thing that we can really analyze is that this is just jornada 1, long pretemporada. I don't think que ningún jugador se salva. I'm trying to think of.
Yeah, I was
one
gonna
or two.
ask: is anybody rescuable? Like from this first matchup, anybody that you guys can like yank out and be like, "Here's a silver medal for trying your hardest this game."
As strange as it might seem in a 4-0 loss, I'll go with Vasquez Mellado.
Yes.
I thought he had a pretty decent game in goal. Without him, it would have been 8-0.
Probably,
Yeah.
man. Yeah, because I'm thinking about, like, I'm not picking anybody from the defense. I'm not picking anybody from. I'm not picking Fidel. I'm not picking. Probably, I'll go with yeah. I'll go with Montes just because. Poor guy, man. It's just what it is, The thing why it's so crazy, I think, is because estamos mal acostumbrados. And I was gonna ask Jose, like, when was the last time we lost 4-0 that he left? But I think it's been
remember
a while,
it.
right?
It
When
was
was it?
against Puebla at home.
Oh my God, you're right.
In Ambris's first season. Yeah.
Oh
It was
man.
that. So this is
remember.
beginning like Ambris' first season. So we already know how it's gonna end, guys. Come on.
We also that same
Everything
season
is
we also
equal.
lost. We also lost at home 4-0 to Necaxa in that same season.
Don't say stuff like that, bro, because this could happen again.
So I know Louis doesn't want to hear it, but according
No, sorry,
to Sophus,
I lied. It wasn't that season. It was the season before that we lost to Necaxa. The one against Puebla was Ambris's when Ambris took over the middle of the season. When Ambris took over in the middle of the season, the Apertura 2018, we lost 4-0 at home to Puebla. That was the last time. And I don't remember ever feeling so helpless watching this team. Losing 4-0 to Puebla at home. Puebla was not good then. They were awful, and we lost
really awful. Yeah,
at home 4-0. That was maybe the lowest point watching this team. But then the next season was the 12 straight wins in the final. So how fickle the league is and how quickly things change. That's what we have to remember.
Exactly. And that's exactly what I always try to remember people, because I'm like, hey, we are people with amnesia. Like we have short-term memory, especially when it comes to soccer and sports. Like they hate you so much, and then you make a goal. Oh, I never, you forgot it. You know what I mean? Like I said, if we win against TJ 3-0, and then we beat Querétaro 3-0, no one's even gonna remember we lost 4-0. So unfortunately, that's how it works. But it's an interesting liga in which you can't really analyze it like you can analyze, because those are torneo largo, so it's different. You know what I mean? Like with this is like, oh. If this was a torneo largo, I would have been already saying, hey, I don't think we're going to be champions. But since 12 out of 18 qualify, and once that happens, once you're in a liguilla, it's a different torneo, it's different. Like, anyone can really win that, even if you do qualify at number 12. So,
yes, although, to be fair, the Super Leader has won the last 2 titles.
Well, interesting.
So, being Super Leader does mean something. It can mean something. Sorry, Cardi, we interrupted you. What am I not going to like?
Oh, no, I was just going to say, I know Louis not going to like this, but according to SofaScore, David Avion Ramirez was the best player on the Leon side.
Oh, why wouldn't I like that?
Because you're like, that's not reliable. And I'm just like, look, Louis.
Oh, it's not reliable.
Oh.
It's not reliable at all. Those are.
Okay, listen to this.
BS, but
no, listen to this. Okay.
But I like Avion Ramirez, so if he's the best player according to anything, then I'm okay with that.
Yeah, I'm okay with that too.
Okay, so he played 90 minutes in regards to ground duels. He made 8 out of 9 ground duels. He won. Aerial duels, he won 2 out of 4. Touches, 80 touches. Accurate passes, 81.6%. Out of 4 long balls, he got 2 correct, and 3 dribble attempts. He succeeded with 3 of them.
Ooh.
The worst player according was Tecillo.
Man, they're all cursed from La Copa America. That's what I'm thinking.
And I trust the eye test way more than that kind of stuff. Those kind of advanced stats work in a game like baseball. They do not work.
Yeah,
in football.
exactly, dude.
Yeah, I'm sorry.
I want to have a real podcast.
Football's all about the eye test. It's just so much that doesn't.
It's because people get lost in statistics and it's so stupid. It's like, dude, it's not. You can't.
There's just so much
really,
that does not show up on any stat sheet.
Exactly. Baseball's a different kind of sport, though. Right there, you do have to kind of you can really know the whole game of the story by looking at all the stats. But when it comes to you're right. When it comes to football, man, people get it wrong all the time because it's like you lose 4-0 and then the other team is like has a 90 or 80% possession. You know what I mean? Like it's just a different kind of game, man. It's different. But when it comes to these kind of stats, though, I just like seeing like how many dribbles he attempted and how much he succeeded. Like that's interesting. But yeah, from what I saw, like I said, I didn't like anyone. I didn't like anyone. I thought everybody did below average.
Yes. So let's go ahead and talk about the rundown of week 1. There's a lot of games. As we know, there is going to be a lot of games starting like Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday, and then especially when we have a little bit of jornada. So we're going to have a lot of football coming up. And as we know, the season is called Grita Mexico, which I think these names are just getting out of control.
Yeah,
not that it's bad, but it's just like
no, it's not bad, but it's getting out of control. Gomez
they're trying
had a really good.
They're trying to keep Mexico from getting disqualified from the World Cup. That's why it's called that.
Yeah, but it's not like it doesn't stick like
And
this
Mexico, I agree with you, Kari. I'm telling you, Gomez Junco had like a really good take on all of this. It's like it's becoming kind of like. I forget the name of the new president de la Federación Mexicana, but he's really, really trying, I feel like, to please everyone in that sense. And it's like, just focus on what you're supposed to do, like not like renaming the torneo. But I get what Luis is saying. It's so Mexico no lo descalifiquen del Mundial, but I think it's getting out of control too with these like Guardianes. Like I thought that was interesting, but then I'm like, why we got to call it for the next season? I don't know. It is what it is. Next season's probably going to be, I don't know. No era penal or something. I don't know. But
can you imagine just the chain of names continue? But in this,
I don't think it's. I mean, it's fine, and they can call it whatever they want, and I'll follow suit. If they want to call it Grita Mexico, then I'll call it Grita Mexico. And all of my posts from every stadium, my label of what the game is, I'll call it, Torneo Grita Mexico, Apertura 21, Jornada whatever. It's fine. I'll call it that. And this is coming from somebody who would love to see Mexico disqualified from the World Cup. That would be hilarious.
Okay, Louis,
I would love that.
Look, Louis, we're not going to get into your anti-Mexico, okay?
Which is not because
I'm just saying.
It affects like la femenil and everything. That's just ridiculous from the FIFA's part. Like that's I don't know.
They have nothing to do with it, and they're paying the price for the men's team.
Yeah.
Literally. Yeah. I definitely agree. Just to go rundown of week 1 of LigaMX, Querétaro and America started the season off 0-0 draw. Then Necaxa losing 3-0 versus Santos, which that game was just poor from Necaxa.
Expected.
Yeah, Necaxa is going to be the bottom feeder of the league this year, I would say.
Toluca
not even a hot take. They're just bad.
I'll add Bravos de Tuca.
Yeah, Los Bravos de Tuca Ferretti losing to Toluca 3-1. Expected.
Yeah.
Was it though?
3-1.
I think so.
3-1.
Yes. I think Toluca had a really important start. I mean, closing to last season.
Yeah, they
disqualified us. They disqualified us. So they're like Pachuca. They're a really good team that are sort of
red under your shirt, bro. I see a couple of red under your shirt, Carlos. No, you're right though, Carlos. I agree with you on that. They're not a team to for sure overlook. And but for the Juarez, it was expected, but I think I didn't expect a team del Tuca to play the way they played, and I didn't really expect Sambo to keep freaking. It is
Sambo
what it is.
Like not from here. Like he's just I don't know.
Yeah, he's not from this planet. He just keeps aging, and it's crazy. But hey man, we gotta just realize this is another tournament. It's not like a year or 2 years ago. There's new contenders, and a lot of the old contenders are losing, their dominance. One of them, I'm seeing the comments. The people are saying, León is not what they used to be, this and that. It's okay. Like I said, it's a long pretemporada. It's just jornada 1, but I do believe in that Toluca, Santos, and Pachuca have very interesting teams. And maybe a year ago we wouldn't put them in the top 4 with América, León, Cruz Azul, maybe un Regio. I don't know. But those teams are interesting right now. I do think they're going to qualify top 8, top 6 maybe. And I just hope León can just, get to that level, because they deserve to be in that elite level, not fighting for 12, 11th. You know what I mean? Like, that's not a team with the money that Club León has invested in. That's not a team that should be qualifying apenas. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. But yeah, the problem here is that we have a coach that's starting, and it seems like time is cyclical. I always believed in that, and I feel like this is exactly like deja vu with Ambriz. Like, Ambriz didn't start well, but then later on, But it is what it is.
You go into these tangents. I don't know how you get
there.
Yes,
but going back to the league rundown, I think it's not that surprising, I suppose, that Toluca won, but 3-1 at Juarez, that's a little unexpected for me. Juarez is a very good home team, and
I do like some.
So that's a little surprising for me.
But it's a good team. Toluca's a good team.
Louis must be happy with the next game. San Luis beating Chivas 2-1.
I watched it. That was
Chivas,
amazing.
I heard, had a really, 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 really trashy game.
Do you think San Luis is for real, or it's just that?
No, I don't think.
No.
I mean, San Luis is for real about as much as León is doomed. It's the same thing. You can't tell by one jornada.
Yeah. Yeah, it's just that when I did see that game, and I just felt like Chivas, man, their fans are gonna suffer this season.
Yeah,
I
think the Cuatro Grandes are gonna suffer.
I mean, it'll definitely be interesting, especially with Piojo now with Piojo with a new team, Pico Verti with a new team. Like, I think it's going to be a lot of surprises this season. Yeah. Pumas versus Atlas. I mean, 12 o'clock game, 0-0. Monterrey, Puebla. Always.
It's true though. Why do they say that about Pumas games? I don't like. That was the first time when I'm like, oh yeah, it is a smooth start. You can't watch those games.
Well, a lot of times it's because you have to sit in the scalding heat at the middle of the day watching their home games.
Yeah.
If you've seen that meme with the Malcolm in the Middle meme where they're just sitting there like in the hot sun, like
the shade of the post as
yeah. It's because the Seu has absolutely no shade, none. Yeah. Like, it's just this big crater with the sun beating directly down on it, and they play it in the middle of the day. They play it at high noon. So yeah, it is like that.
I would be so mad if I was a Pumas fan, because I would want to go to the games, but I wouldn't want to be on the heat like at 12. I don't know.
You can't see.
Well, the last two visits to that stadium have been in regular season with fans. I'm talking about not the final, but like with fans were exciting wins. So it makes up for it.
Pumas es nuestros hijos, eh?
Yeah.
That'd be clear. We could say that for the rest of the time.
You all right there, Cuddy?
It's like a fly, like a beetle. I don't know.
Flying cucaracha?
No, it's not cucaracha.
Flying cucaracha.
Oh, you got the flying cucarachas?
It's like blue and
where
green.
Are you,
I'm in Mexico.
She's in San Pipe.
I've never seen a beetle.
It's a mayate? What do they call them?
No. Okay, hold up. Monterrey, Puebla, 1-1. Both with a red card. Tigres winning 2-1 over Xolos. Francia was eliminated, so Gignac and their new player will be coming back. And then Mazatlan beating Cruz Azul 2-0.
That was a fun one too.
I like that one.
Second
yeah,
best.
I know Cruz Azul sat out a lot of players, but they should still have had enough to not lose 2-0 to Mazatlan at home.
I mean, it was a good one, but at the same time, it like, if you think about it, like, we lost versus this Cruz Azul side, even though they have like 3 less players, but we lost against them.
Yeah, but the fact that it was at home at the Azteca kind of evens out the circumstances of the loss, I would say.
Definitely. So ahead of week 2, Mazatlán Pachuca, Puebla Chivas, León Xolos, América Necaxa, Monterrey Pumas, Atlas Juárez, Toluca Tigres, Santos Cruz Azul, which should be a good one, and San Luis Querétaro of our next jornada, which we're going to roll into this weekend's matchup against Xolos. We already talked about kind of what we thought. I think Javier has definitely expressed it multiple times that it's a process. It's a beginning. It's jornada uno, so there's a lot of time. But I guess being a home game, is there more of an expectation that we have to win at home despite how the jornada 1 went?
Well, the home game and the opponent. I mean, Xolos is not Pachuca.
Yeah.
Xolos is kind of. I mean, they're always kind of a mystery. You never know what you're going to get for them. Sometimes they're really good, and sometimes they play really well out of the blue.
And they're obviously Leon, they always want to play good. They're
obviously a very good home team. They're a better home team than their road team. So there's that too. They're coming into our place. Yeah, I think there's a lot of not a pressure but expectation for a better result in this game. A win.
Yeah, we definitely need
pressure for a win in this game.
Pressure for a win. Did you guys see about Colo Colo asking for Davila?
Yeah,
yes. I don't think it'll happen though.
That is wishful thinking from Colo Colo.
Wishful thinking.
I'll say this about that though. I mean, if they have a hotshot, young, true ball hawk defensive midfielder that they want to send us in return,
we can swap.
Then maybe we could. I mean, like a player that's not really well known but is up and coming. The Liga Chilena is not one of the most followed in the world. Maybe not a lot of people know about the kid, but like somebody who's a real.
I mean, also the wages too.
Like a ball hawk, not somebody who's thinking about creation and building out of the back, but like a true ball hawk, a Pedro Aquino type of defensive midfielder. Yeah. If they have somebody like that, they want to send us back for Davila, I'd make that trade in a heartbeat. Because we're talking about how Davila has seemed like the odd man out for Holland so far. Like he's the one who hasn't gotten a lot of playing time.
Yeah. I think
so.
It's
normal that these kind of conversations would start up, but we don't want to send him away for. I mean, he's a nice piece. We don't want to send him away for nothing,
for free. Yeah. Like Leon usually always does.
And I wonder why though, because
it's ridiculous. I think about so many players that they bought and then they just los prestan. You know what I mean? Like, and then they end up buying them, and they're very. I don't get that. But anyway, it is what it is. Knowing Grupo Pachuca, they're probably just gonna bring someone from Everton cheap, if they're gonna bring anybody from Liga Chilena, Louis.
Well,
they can't bring anyone.
That Davila was brought here to appease Nacho Ambriz, and he's no longer here, so he's kind of just in this weird situation where he's like, I don't know this new coach, he doesn't know me, so
I mean, but are you really gonna?
He knows he's guilty, which is why.
Like one thing is going to like I would feel like if it was like either Argentina or Brazil, then I could see that. But Chile in Colo Colo, I don't know.
They're a big team in Chile, aren't they? They're like
biggest team. They're the biggest team in Chile. Like there's not even
there are, but
ganaron la Copa. They're the only team that can ganar la Copa Libertadores.
But still,
that's the biggest team in Chile. No, you're saying Davila, if he's gonna go anywhere, it should be Brazil or Argentina.
Like if it's gonna be on loan, yes, I could see that happening, but not to Chile.
I could see them loaning them to Colo Colo. It's like but
I could see them loaning a Chilean player to the biggest club in Chile.
Yeah, I can definitely see that.
That doesn't seem out of.
I don't see them I don't loaning him to Boca or River. Like that. There's not really lots of extranjeros in Liga Argentina. You have to be fuera de serie. And sometimes that because they don't have that much extranjeros allowed. But with Davila, it could happen, but it's too late for that anyway, right? So
I'm
No.
not sure when the transfer window closes.
Yeah, I think it's still open.
No, the international transfer window's open. I don't think there can be any more movements between LigaMX clubs. But you
Okay.
can bring in and send out players to other leagues.
Okay, so that's still and that's like till the end of August or September.
I think it's end of August, beginning of September. If
Yeah.
I see something like that.
Yeah, the one that closes on luego is the market in Mexico. Yeah, I don't know if they're gonna do that. Like I said, why? But they probably are gonna do that because they always do stuff like that. Give away players for free, nothing in return. But I agree with Louis. If they're gonna do that, give us something in return. Por la primera vez en tu vida.
Shout out to Sinaku, always joining us. Said if only we could set Puma instead.
Yeah, but it looks like Olan's not gonna let that happen. He likes Gigliotti. So
I don't know why he sees in him.
I mean, you have like a tiny new player. Like
he sees the past. He sees the past in him.
He's the homeboy features in him.
Gigliotti is a walking tronco. That's what he is.
This is maybe the worst offseason signing we've had in a couple of years.
Well, can you even really call him an offseason signing? He was already on the team.
They
reworked his deal,
I mean, on paper,
but he's not a new player. He's not a fichaje.
Yeah,
I don't see him as a fichaje.
I mean, I think on paper he was already. I don't know. It's kind of
if Campbell left and lo único que no sé and it was a lot like lo del título, like the same thing with Gigliotti. Ya cumplió, ya nos dio un título. Like they should have just let him go.
Yeah, but the coach came and he decided that he actually fits in his plan.
He was being selfish. He literally was being selfish.
The thing is, like, okay, he fits.
Well,
he fits in his plan.
Buys, they give a contract to Olan, and part of that is, okay, you get to really see the plantel and see who you want and who you don't want. So it doesn't really, in that sense, we can't blame Olan. We have to blame el club that. Beforehand, before he was signed, he was already mentioning something about Gigliotti staying. And
but this is the thing, though. I think there's always going to be that struggle with directiva. There's just like a coach comes in. You have the scouting people, and then you have the directiva. It's always going to be that internal struggle of, maybe they already have an idea, but then you give the power to the coach. So it's kind of just like if he literally was already out the door, Olan comes like, no, I want him.
Yeah. Like, well, because that's the thing. That's the thing, though. Like every coach has because that's their manager. Son gustos. I mean, that's gonna be the eternal fight of the fans against ¿por qué lo trajeron? ¿Por qué no se va? ¿Por qué el Tata doesn't bring Navarro? Son gustos. At the same, like we can all like have the same gustos. So whatever he sees in Gigliotti, hey man, sometimes I just feel like when he came in. And he was asking like for him to stay. I was like, but why? I was the same way. But who knows? You never know what a coach can really inspire in a player. And if he knows them and he knows what he's maybe capable of, I try to give everybody the benefit of the doubt. And I agree with Campbell. Like when he left, it was kind of like, well, okay, you know what? I'm not gonna really be hurt by that because I felt he gave us everything he could have given us, which was that game against Chivas. Other than that, I didn't really see him doing anything except being a super sub. Jairo hurt me. I'm like, why do you got to get rid of Jairo? You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. So I think that's where it's coming from. That all these other players left, and the one you wanted to leave didn't go. But again, it ends with what the técnico really wants. So if they fire Olan, I'm pretty sure Gigliotti is going to leave. Just like what Carlos was saying about Davila, he came because Ambriz, and these are things that happen everywhere all the time in soccer. It just happens every time.
Yeah, my thing about it, just real quick, is that I think he wanted Puma there because Puma is the only player who was already on the roster with whom he has a pre-existing relationship.
Yeah.
So if things start to go sideways, or if they start slow, like they have, he at least has one guy there who can attest to his professional capabilities. Because I don't know if they're really friends or whatever. There's been kind of
I heard they didn't like each other in Independiente. There was
there's kind of been differing opinions about what their personal relationship, prior personal relationship is. But professionally speaking, he's got that one guy who can attest to his abilities because they did great things together.
Yeah.
And I think that's a big part of it. I mean, who wouldn't?
Yeah,
I mean,
I agree.
who wants to come in and to this roster of guys you just absolutely, you don't know anybody, they don't know
Anything
you.
about.
He's got that one guy in his professional corner, and I think he sees value in that, and I understand where he's coming from. It's kind of unfortunate that we have to use a roster spot on that guy, and more than that, we have to give a spot on the starting lineup to that guy. It seems, at least for the time being, but that's the situation we're in with Holland and Gigliotti.
And Kari, at the end of the day, if it all goes wrong for Holland for putting Gigliotti and no vienen los resultados, I'm pretty sure that's gonna affect him, and it's gonna affect his contract with Leon. Like, if está cerrado, but I don't think that's gonna happen. I don't see him as a técnico aferrado. Like, I'll do what I want. I don't care what the fans. He seems very different. I do think he's a extreme professional. So I don't think the idea of keeping Gigliotti comes from like, I want you to be here because I want to run the show. I just think it's what Louis is saying. It's more of a, he kind of knows who he is already. He knows him, and maybe he sees something in him that he can still probably, get out of him. But other than that, it's si al final del día, this is the reason why Leo is not scoring and we're not winning, and then it's obvious. I don't think he's not going to last that long. Hopefully, he doesn't last that long.
I doubt it. I doubt it because the way it's going. Oh yeah, go ahead. Sorry.
No, go ahead. Go ahead. Finish.
So I doubt that he's probably gonna get fired right away because if I feel like Collins.
No, I mean
career Leon
like that. Gigliotti, I think Gigliotti will probably leave the end of the season. That's kind of.
Oh, okay.
But it did sound like Olan, right? No, because I'm saying Olan. No, aunque Olan llegue, you weren't here when Olan. Even if Olan, I said it. If he ends up in last place, I don't think they're gonna fire him. So no, I'm not saying that. I'm saying Gigliotti for sure. If he's like just being a tronco, and y esa fuerza que lo quieren meter, I'm sure by the end of the season he's not gonna be able to stay anymore. You just can't.
Right.
It can't. It doesn't work like that. But let's try it out. Maybe he sees something. He could be wrong. I'm just gonna give him the benefit of the doubt.
Yeah. So I forget if it was the last one or the one before that, which episode. But I said before that I felt that this was gonna be a transitional season for Leon, and I'm probably gonna say it again. I think this season is gonna be a mirror of what Pizzi's first season was at Leon. Like he only had I think that season he only had 4 wins, and overall he only had 16 points at the end of the season. And I don't know. We got scored 30, 34, 36 goals. And I don't know, I feel that I'm gonna be honest, at first I said top 5, I think in the last one, and I think we're gonna be lucky if we're in between 5 or 8, around there, because I don't know how long it's gonna take us to kind of get our ideas or stuff together with this new coach. And if it's too late, and I don't know if we'll make it to, well, we'll make it probably but in the reclasificación, but I don't know if we'll make it at the top 4.
Top 4,
as it's going.
Yeah, I agree. That's what we were saying. It just seems like a repetition of Ambri's first season. And look. Here's the thing. You can't always be you know what I mean? Maybe I used to be, you can't always qualify la liguilla, but I don't think you can always be on top, as a team. I don't think there's never been a team that's dominated 3 years, they're number 1 or top 4. It's always some crazy, campeones and then no califica. You know what I mean? A la liguilla. It's happened so many times.
Especially when there's a new coach. Yeah.
Exactly. There you go. That's what we were saying. It just feels like it might be that kind of a season. So, hey, let's all be calm. Let's not, if we don't qualify to La Liguilla, which I don't think that's going to happen, because maybe if it was top 8, I think we'll barely qualify from what I've starting to see and what we know that's happened in the past when new coaches come. But this is, 12 out of 18. I feel like they are going to qualify. And I think con un equipo tan talentoso como el de León, like maybe by jornada 6 or 7, we're going to start seeing them. Well, the one thing that I always tell you guys is, as long as, even if we lose, like I don't care if we lose, as long as we have an idea of how we're playing down spots. Because you can always lose una falta de concentración, faltando 5 minutos. You know what I mean? Like, but you're playing really well. That happens. But when you're not playing well, you're not even sure how to pass. Te estorban Omar y Chapo. That's concerning, And that just feels like what you were saying about when Nacho first came. Así se vio León. But then eventually we saw what León came to be. Also, maybe también puede contar, it could count and put that into account that when a new coach comes, you don't really get the players that you want to come. So maybe he's still gonna get that for next season. But yeah, I just hope the León fans keep the patience, man, because this whole Fuera Holland thing doesn't make any sense to me. Like I said, it just feels like these are fans from like 2-3 years ago, and it's like, hey guys, have you guys not seen when Tena or Torrente were coached? Like even they got continuidad. So
those were tough years.
Yeah, I mean, Jose, I hear what you're saying, and I know your expectations were very measured of the Holland era, and your predictions were definitely on the lower end of best case scenario. I do think this is a far better squad than Pizzi had in the Clausura 2015. I mean, that was the year that Chapo was pretty much out the whole year with his gruesome leg injury, and they brought in refuerzos de pura basura. Just the desechos from South America, like that was the start of when they brought in really, really bad refuerzos for several years. This is a far, far, far better squad than that one, and I think that combined with the fact that 12 teams qualify, but I don't even think we're gonna. By the end of this, I don't even think we're gonna have to be worrying about that. I still think this is a team with top 4 potential. They're gonna have to do a lot and work really hard to get there, but I think that's still in play. I don't think we have to. We definitely don't have to give up on the high expectations just because of one jornada.
I'm not so sure.
I know you're not.
Yeah.
I know you're not, but it's one jornada, Jose. It's one jornada. It's one jornada. I love your pessimism. I love your pessimism.
Critic. He's a tough
You're a tough critic. You're a tougher critic than any of us.
Realistic.
Well, we'll see if you are, because realistic could end up being a lot better than what you think it is. But I mean, I appreciate your resounding pessimism. It's something this podcast benefits from because none of the rest of us are really like that.
No, you look at me. Like we're gonna win 3-2, and it was like 4-0. Like I'm not.
Yeah, I'm more of a everything happens for a reason kind of guy. But it is like it's true. Like I'm always saying like the super like plazo largo, like it's gonna be fine, guys. But I always try to be optimistic.
Somebody brought up Joel Campbell, and I thought to myself, wow, it would have been nice to send off Joel Campbell to Rayados and get back their young central defensive midfielder, Jonathan Gonzalez, instead of sending him off to Necaxa to waste his talents.
I think he's overhyped. Just my opinion, personal opinion.
I mean, he's a lot better than what we have now.
Yeah, I think that problem that you were bringing up, Carlos, the defense and then the defensive midfielder, that's probably going to be something that we're not going to find the answer for this season, and we're going to have to live with it. So
yes, you're right there. I mean, I'm gonna keep bringing it up too. I'm pretty sure I'll bring it up against Xolos every game.
I don't need that traitor Jonathan Gonzalez on our roster. He chose Mexico, and now he's never going to play with Mexico again. He's SOL because he can't switch to the United States now because he's cap tied, but he's not in the plans. He's not in Mexico's future plans. So I don't want that guy in my team.
I don't think he's that great. I always thought he was overhyped. So I mean, maybe we can get someone else.
I don't understand why we give away players and we never get nothing back. Like it just doesn't make any sense.
That's what I mean.
Yeah, like Jose, you should really do since like 2012. How many players have come in and how many have they sold them successfully? Because I think that's what.
No,
none, right? None.
It's always like this. even if it's un fracaso, like of the signing, it's always préstalo, and then and he just keeps going, préstalo, and then you don't get like that 2 or something like million that you spend on the player at all.
I'm thinking about like, Mejia, Cornejo, like so many players, man, that they bought, and all they did was
Caicedo.
Caicedo.
No, he signed my phone. I was gonna say that he signed my phone. And I
Recodo Valdez.
If
Yeah,
Campbell,
signed my shirt, and I got pissed.
If Campbell works out in Monterrey, we'll at least get a pile of money for
I hope.
his buyout.
I hope,
Pile of money.
but
literally, I could just see this massive pile, and Louis taking a picture right next to it. Like, this is what
like Scrooge McDuck,
right?
Shoveling the money.
Bro, like, I'm gonna like put a peladora for Campbell that he makes it in Monterrey so we can get some money because we need it.
Yeah, that's what we need. We need to hope for those kind of things, because I think the only time we were gonna have something close to that was when they were gonna sell Macias to Europe. About that with that amount, and I was just thinking that's what we should have been doing a long time ago. Like buying these young players, because that's what I think Leon needs to focus on too. And that's why I think La Esmeralda is going to be amazing when that starts, because I always want to be I always want my team to produce young play. That's what they used to do back in the days, guys. In the 60s and 70s, there were so many great players from León. El primer 10 de la selección mexicana was Chepe Chávez from León, Guanajuato. So that's what I'm saying. They have so much. Era una gran cuna de talentos. And I don't know what happened. So I think that the León should go back to that. With La Esmeralda, man, that's going to be the day, guys.
Credit to JJ Macias. He finally cumplió su sueño europeo, and he's with the mightiest of mighty European franchises, Getafe CF. So, major congratulations to him.
I can't take that serious. Congratulations.
What did you sense sarcasm in my voice, or I definitely wasn't trying to be sarcastic.
No, the eyes gave it away. The eyes. Okay, one last question before we go to predictions. What are we predicting for just a lineup? Is Olan gonna switch anything? Are we gonna see Gigliotti again? Are we gonna see, Montes and Fernandez? And Aku said, if we sell Campbell, we can buy a defensive midfielder, and Carlos' dream will come true.
There you go, Carlos.
Yes.
Please.
Yes.
Yeah, watch Gigliotti start again, and watch him get a hat trick. And then everybody will think he's amazing again.
Okay, I guess let's clear up one thing, okay? We are very grateful for Gigliotti for showing up with no one else,
grateful.
Right?
We are.
We're very grateful. We applauded him. We love him. We bow down like we needed it. He came in clutch. But I don't know whoever said it. I think it was the end of an era. So now we move on. But we're not moving on in a bit. So
we're still stuck in the past.
Yeah. So if anybody's listening to us now, just know that we definitely appreciate what Puma Gigliotti did for Leon, because he did show up and came in clutch when he needed to. I think it's safe to say that we kind of expected his cycle to close and for us to move on to better.
Well, that is one way of looking at it, but the other way of looking at it is we're stuck with this guy. We're stuck with this guy. They're not going to do anything with him.
I know. I'm just trying.
And they're probably going to keep starting him. So what we want from him is to play well.
Okay, so you're saying Gigliotti starts tomorrow? I mean tomorrow.
I think he will.
I think he's going to be. I think Paul's going to be stubborn. Yeah,
we're being realistic.
And also, I think Gigliotti. I think everybody in the team has the same responsibility as Gigliotti. I don't know why it's all on him. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like the whole team should be. We should be attacking Gigliotti. We should be attacking the whole team like that. But I think. Go ahead.
No. Just a question for Euro. So the other players that were on international duty, maybe not this year because he doesn't really have to run that much. But the other players are mostly attacking-minded players. So why do you guys think they're not appearing? Is it because we're not giving in rest porque ya los nomás llegaron y luego? Or why you guys think they're not really showing up? Like they're not really making a difference.
The ones that came back from Copa America?
Yeah.
They were like Meneses, Mena.
I think it's that, man. I mean, traveling and it takes something out of you. So I think that should be put into effect.
So are you like in agreement that they should be arrested, not only because they're not at their,
I don't
the
know.
level we want from them?
It's kind of like Ormedeos. I think he's not starting because he just came, but also I could see him probably starting against Querétaro. I think he is going to change, especially con doble jornada. A lot of las alineaciones. But I do think that maybe he should take under that in consideration, because I think we're seeing it from Mena, we're seeing it from Meneses, from Tecillo, all players that came back from Copa America, and they're not looking at that level. The fact that Kari said that Tecillo was the worst player, that's crazy sometimes to even think about that. Because for the longest, he was our best player.
I mean, like
Kari didn't say it. SofaScore said it.
SofaScore said that he was the worst player on the team.
Yeah.
No.
I meant to say that.
I think
not you.
SofaScore. You have to say it with a really fresa voice.
Because I don't know what that is.
Okay, let me my voice.
What is it called?
SofaScore. That sounds so monotone.
What is it called?
So, okay.
SofaScore?
Yes. Let's move on. Hold up.
I've never heard of that.
They call it that because somebody who's on the sofa is making
he's keeping score.
is keeping score. Yeah.
Damn. Give that guy a medal.
I think I've always believed that if a player is fit, he will continue playing. We've seen it with Chapo Montes. Chapo Montes doesn't rest. You know what I mean? I think Meneses might need a bench. I think Mena might need a bench.
There you go, Kari.
From them.
There you go, Kari.
I think if a player is fit, they're fit to play, and we move on.
Now,
I think. Hold up. So I think with that, there's just no much really. I mean, I get it. They come from a tournament. They're tired. So he should have seen that. The campeones. They just came back. They're starting. Especially
about Holland, right?
So they shouldn't repetirlo.
Yeah.
That's what we're saying, Kari. Like Ambriz would have done that. I don't think Olan is that kind of a coach that would bench him. Like I don't know, but I can see Ambriz definitely doing something like. It just depends on our coach.
Because like I think like Ambriz had the minded kind of resting players, because that's usually what you do in like in Europe. You rest and you there
you go, Jose. He has that style.
Yeah. So and then Holland comes in. Yeah, and with Holland, I don't know if it's because he doesn't know the players or what it is, but then even I think who was it? Julio Salcero put like something up today that like listing all those players and like how many matches between Liga and international matches they played in the last season. So I think it's like adding up now. So they haven't really have. And now that they're coming back, and they just like putting on the fold again. Yeah. So
it's I caught that too, Jose, and it was like interesting. He's an interesting, different kind of coach from Ambriz, definitely.
Yeah, I think he realized that he had to win. Like with Campeón de Campeones, I think he realized if I'm gonna lose, I might as well lose with my best players, because he doesn't want to face the criticism of the press, the media, and all the fans saying, "Well, no jugó con sus mejores jugadores." Like, you want to play with your quote unquote best players. So I think he put that pressure on himself just to say that if he's gonna lose with his best players, his seleccionados,
Yeah, but the thing is, why starting after you lose in a jornada, or just because he wanted to start off the season in the right way?
Yeah,
but then
totally backfired.
Yeah, but that's like like if you already play with these players and they're like halfway to gas, and then comes like week one, then now they're like what, like a quarter of what they can give you. Like they're not miracle makers either. They're human beings. But I don't know.
That's what we're saying. It's a process for those fans are saying fuera Olan and all of that kind of stuff.
No, that's too much. That's too much. Like, you have to give in one full season, and we'll see what's going on after this. But yeah.
So regarding lineups, are we Are we seeing? What are we seeing defensively? I think we mentioned. I think I guess during the game about kind of what role Jefecito was playing that game. I mean, what are we thinking this time around? Is it going to change?
I just hope that he recapacite and please just put the CEO there. Just please. No.
Tecillo en contención.
No.
No, to see as a
Left
left
back.
back.
Jefecito was not playing contención, bro. Like Jefecito was playing in left back. Why is he playing left back? Why?
See, I didn't even catch that. That's why what you said was like, what are we talking about? Wow, I don't know. Put the
twice. He played versus Cruz Azul left back. He played here left back. And why?
Yeah, against Cruz Azul. Well, look, maybe he wants him as I don't know. Maybe against Jairo.
No.
He wants him to be central, but we know what the CEO can do. That's what we're saying. That we know what these players are capable and where they can play. And it seems like he doesn't really understand that yet. Like
then I mean, like se supone then like that the auxiliares are there to help him. What the heck are they doing?
Sebastian Mas should know by now. But like I said, I said something to the effect that he's still trying to find his perfect 11. I think that's what he's doing, man. He's trying to figure, maybe he's trying to. It also comes to the point where sometimes you want to try something new because, like, we know when Ambris first started, when Ambris first started, we started seeing all the things he was doing. Eventually we saw that the other teams caught on how Leon was playing. Remember that first season? It was like what he did was amazing because people started seeing this new style and they didn't know how to stop it. But then, like, I feel like after that, Leon played too predictable, played the same. So I don't know. Maybe he's trying to find a whole different, trying to reinvent the team. But again,
So
I think that could be.
Can we start Ramiro tomorrow then? I mean, I keep saying tomorrow. Can we start Ramiro then?
I want to see Ramiro. That's sure. Why not? Yeah. But it just depends on him.
I'm okay with that. I'm also okay with starting Mosquera.
Yeah, something different.
No.
At this point, anything, man.
Senaku said, I could be wrong, but didn't Torrente play Jefecito on left back when he debuted?
Did he? No.
When did Jefecito debut?
Louis, you don't have a memory of that?
I remember when he debuted, he was bald.
Shaved, yeah.
He was shaved.
Was that Torrente era or was that?
I don't know.
Did he even play under Torrente? I can't remember.
I feel like that was
so long ago.
It was a long time ago, but I don't know. I wouldn't put my money on Torrente.
I'm actually gonna Google this because
is Jose on? Maybe he remembers.
Maybe he does.
But yeah, I feel like there's I want to see Elias start.
There you go. That's an interesting player that I want to see more.
I want to see Elias start. Bench Mena.
Or benchman SS. The last time we benched him, it was a slap on the wrist, and he came back. He came back stronger.
It was very effective. Yeah, that's true.
You're right.
Jefecito debuted in January of 2017 against Pachuca.
Is that Torrente then? Yeah.
Yeah, that was still Torrente. Torrente had one more full season and then was let go the season after.
That's pretty cool, Zanaku.
But I still don't remember him playing as a left back. Maybe he did, but.
Oh yeah, that's actually what he was saying, that he played as a left back.
Maybe Jose could look into it when he.
I don't think so. I'm trying to remember all the players that have ever played as left back. I think during that era, wasn't it Cornejo?
Yeah, Cornejo was the.
That's his name, bro.
Was the titular.
Yeah. I know. I'm just laughing because he could never just put in a decent cross.
I thought you were laughing because of his name. I'm like, come on, Carlos, we're all adults.
No, I know.
No, he wasn't a good crosser. He was one of the best at free kick takers, though.
Yeah, he actually was taking free. Mm-hmm. He would take free kicks. That's true.
I miss Cano. Germán Cano.
Where is he right now? Brazil?
I don't know.
No, I think he's in Colombia.
But he wanted to stay, so I was kind of sad about that. He wanted to
Actually, maybe he's in Brazil now, Javier.
Yeah, I think he's in Brazil.
Okay, so I guess we'll see what kind of movements could possibly happen this weekend. Let's go ahead and move on to predictions to close out the show. People on the chat, let us know what your prediction is as we're gonna head into prediction time. I'm still waiting on an update of Louis' Charlie update. But
Prediction time, prediction time, prediction time, prediction time, prediction time, prediction time.
Jose, can you hear us?
Yeah. Can you hear me?
Okay. Yes.
Yeah.
Go ahead and give us your prediction, sir.
I just want Leon to win, but goals are not coming. So I'm just gonna go with a
But you gotta say it like that.
1-0.
I just want Leon to win.
1-0.
Because he's a resident pessimist, Javier.
I know, but he said it like, look, man, I just want Leon to win. That's all of our
1-0.
sentimientos, man. I agree with you, Jose. Like, I want Leon to win, and I agree
Yeah.
with you. For 1-0. I think 1-0. I'm going 1-0
Ya no
too.
puedes cambiar, Javi. Ya no puedes cambiar. 1-0.
No, I've changed for this temporada.
Uh-huh.
So Jose says 1-0 Leon. Javi says 1-0 Leon. Louis.
I'll go 2-1. I think we're going to see a much more aggressive team, a team that still doesn't know how to play under Roland, and is still a team that still doesn't have everything figured out, but one that's going to try very aggressively to go out and get the result at home. Yeah, I think they're going to go up 2-0. They're going to give one up, and then it's going to be a nervy finish where we're going to have to desperately try to hold on to that lead. And I think they will. I think 2-1.
What?
Yeah.
Louis says 2. Yeah. Carlos.
Yeah, same with me. I think the players are going to realize that they messed up. They messed up at Pachuca, and that they were humiliated. The fan base was humiliated, and they're going to realize they're at home and they can't lose. Even a tie would be heartbreaking. It would be a defeat. A tie would be a defeat. So yeah, I think they're going to come out and win 2-1. We're not going to be there fully defensively yet. I think we're going to see a lot of counterattacks by Xolos. We're very bad on the counterattack. So, yeah, I think they might pick up one, but we'll be able to score and get the victory.
Okay. I have two of the same scoreboards. Carlos says also 2-1. Should I go with like being
5-0. Just say it, Carl. Just say it.
pessimist as Jose?
We need someone to say it. Because I want to say it, but I don't want
Pessimist
to
as
say it
Jose,
anymore.
or as like, I think I want Leon to win. I think we're still struggling defensively, and I really want this weekend things to turn around. I'm gonna go with a 1-1 draw.
Hey.
Wow.
Now,
I hope
Have
I'm
you ever
wrong.
predicted a loss or a draw in this game?
I haven't heard of a
Here's-
draw here in a long time.
I was
here's the
gonna
big
say.
question, Cuddy. You're in Mexico. Are you going to be there at the game?
Dun, dun,
I
dun.
am still looking into it, so I'll let you know.
I don't know how you can not be there at the game. Like that. What
It's
a
not that. It's
what a
not
waste
that,
of a
it's
visit.
not
You're in San Pipe?
that- It's not that simple.
You're in San Pipe, huh? That's like
Yes,
that's not far.
no.
Too big.
but
For
there's
me, it's that simple.
stuff-
The game's
there's stuff
happening.
going
I'm going
on.
to it.
Louis lives in Guanajuato. He always goes.
Well, that's closer than some people, but still.
How long is San Pipe though? Because I know it's like an
San
hour,
Pipe is
right?
like-
to get
It's like 2
from
hours.
Guanajuato. Oh, okay.
Yeah, it's
from
like-
Guanajuato
it's
to the
funnier.
stadium. Oh, okay.
If with my uncle drives, it's like an hour and a half or something like that. Less than that, like an hour and 20. But
Yeah.
I will
I've been
let
there
you know.
once.
But yeah, I'm predicting a tie. I really hope I'm wrong. I just really want things to kind of turn around this weekend. And if that's, if
You're just being
Carlos
realistic.
really hit it, then that's awesome.
That's awesome.
With,
Yeah.
with more goals, obviously.
Yeah. Me
Senaco
and Jose are
goes-
being pessimistic.
more conservative. There you go. Senaku said, I will go with the 1-0 win as well.
Yeah, Zanaku. So far, Zanaku hasn't got anything wrong. He got the Torrente and Ivan Rodriguez.
I know.
So I believe in Zanaku.
He could be on the pod, man.
Yeah, so now
Yeah, watch him get every prediction right from the torneo.
Yeah.
Hey,
That needs to be
let-
included in our prediction time live.
I think we should like quickly talk about what happens if we lose, because we all
I
predict
don't
a win
want
or a tie. But what
don't want
happens
to,
if we
Carlos.
lose? Like, how do we feel? Or
I'll
what
break
are we
my
gonna,
TV, man. I'll break my TV. Not against
But
Xolos.
at this
'cause
point, it's a
I live close
possibility.
to.
Javi,
Yeah.
you're the one saying that it's a process that you don't care if you lose and everything. And then Carlos says, what happens if we lose next game? You're like, I'll burn my TV. Like, what is that?
I'll break my TV because I live with Cholo fans. I know Cholos. I know them. So it's like
trolling.
it's different. You know what I mean? Like it's different. Like being from San Diego and having to grow up people from TJ. I know so many people are gonna hit me up. So that's why.
So Carlos asked the question: if we lose Jornada dos, Javi says he'll burn his TV. Any other thoughts?
Obviously, Carlos was right. I am trolling. I would never do that. I don't get emotional.
It will feel more bitter for longer than the Pachuca game, but in the grand scheme of things, nothing changes for me.
Okay.
Mm.
Jose, I want to hear from you. Oh, sorry,
Yeah,
Carlos.
let's hear Jose. Let's hear Jose. Oh, he can't talk.
Can't hear. No, we
No,
can't.
we can't hear you. Can't hear
We
you.
can't hear you, Jose.
Go ahead, Carlos.
Type it
Man,
and we'll say it for you.
is it too early to start hitting the panic button if we lose?
Yes.
No.
Yes.
Is it too
I mean,
early?
yes, early, yes.
Because man, this is
Don't panic.
it's literally the exact same team that has been playing so well, historically well for the last 2 years. What is going on? Like, what's happening? Like,
I think if we lose, we're gonna see like 100% rise in hashtags of fuera Olan for sure. But is he gonna go? I don't
for sure.
think. Yeah, for sure. If we lose, we're gonna see like a whole timeline on Twitter is gonna be fuera Olan, fuera Olan, fuera Olan. But I don't think that's gonna happen. Grupo Pachuca, no matter what, they're not gonna let that happen. Oh, but who knows though? I'm also on that side too, Carlos, because I'm with you. I'm half and half. Like it's like.
Well,
It's
let's
like,
imagine.
You can't be on both sides.
yes, you can. You can see two things happening. What I think is going to happen is, for instance, he's going to stay. If they do lose, though, there is a moment where people start kind of like seeing the fan base, start like not even wanting to believe in this process, wanting it to fail, and that's how it happens. The toxicity of not wanting que le vaya mal a un técnico, un jugador, so they can leave and stuff. We've seen it, and León has that history and it's a controversial topic, but there's been a lot of proof que sí le han tendido la cama a muchos técnicos. So that can also be another thing into play. Imagine this: Gigliotti staying and no le cae bien a otros jugadores. You know what I mean? There's a lot of things you can analyze about all that.
Well, if we want to consider ourselves el quinto grande, we have to live up to it. We have to live up to that pressure, and we have to expect what los grandes expect. So imagine if this was happening at America or Chivas or Cruz Azul, where a new coach comes in, he loses a cup, and then he loses 4-0 in his first game. Like, imagine I don't want to cuss, but imagine the amount of stuff that would be going on social media, in the media, from the fans, from imagine the pressure that would be on them. So why can't we do that if we want to consider ourselves el quinto grande? Like, I think we should live up to that.
That's true.
That's a good way to. I mean, that's a good way to put it. I think I would be on the verge of hitting it just for frustration, not because I don't believe in the process, just because I expect so much that's not realistic, and it is realistic. You know what I mean? Like Carlos said, we have a lot of the same players, so why can't we expect that? But then on contrary, it's like, well, we have a new coach, and it's
that's what I'm saying. Like Grupo Pachuca, that's not how they roll. They're gonna be saying we understand the fans, we understand their concerns and their frustration, but we have un plan de largo plazo that maybe we don't see, and they're just gonna probably roll with that. Yeah, you know what I mean? But what Carlos is saying, that's what I'm saying, look. And we've had these talk about León being el quinto grande. One of the things that I hate hearing all the time is, bueno, es que Nacho Ambriz le puede ir bien en León porque es un equipo sin presión. And I hate hearing that because I think León does, our fans, we do put pressure on la directiva, on the coach, on the players. But maybe it is true that we should kind of like I don't know, maybe be more like how it happens in Chivas and America, and cause that's true. These kind of things wouldn't fly at all. So that's what I'm saying. Like I could see maybe one day becoming that, but I just think this group was very different, and they're gonna just be very like giving him the benefit of the doubt. But the panic button will always be there just in case. And for me, like I said, it's una pretemporada larga. But I'm always concerned when it comes to if they're not playing well, you know, because then why even make it to la liguilla? You know, you're not aspiring to do anything. Once you're in a liguilla, I think del 12-1 anyone can be campeón. You know what I mean? You can even start losing 5 games, but if you win the last 10 and you make it, we all know that. Es como cierres el torneo, no mucho como empiezas.
Yeah.
Good point.
True. Well, guys, we're gonna go ahead and take off. Hope you guys enjoyed this episode 82 titled Catastrophic Loss, because we did have a very catastrophic loss in our week 1. But we're hoping to bounce back this weekend. Our game for the Xolos. Thank you for all who are watching us via Facebook, YouTube, and Periscope. Let us know what you think about the pod. Don't forget to follow us on all social medias. Don't forget to follow the pod at the Lions Den Pod. Don't forget to follow at Club Leon EN for all your Club Leon news. If you're missing the game for any reason, live tweets, if you miss a goal, everything there. Everything is there regarding Club Leon in English. And don't forget to follow us on all our social personal media to keep you guys updated with everything in regards to Club Leon. So we're going to go ahead and take off, but we wish you guys a very good night and hopefully have a happy next podcast. So take off.
Y arriba la fiera.
No, that's one.